Welcome back, everybody. It's Coach Andrew, and today is day 3 of the greatest guide for beginner runners. Today we're going to go over how to recover after your run. We're going to go over what the biggest things to do after your run are, and how to accomplish those, and what will set you up for success on the next training run that you're going to do, either the next day or the day after, depending on where you are in the process. So now that you've finished your run, the question is, what should we do? Where do we go from here? Now we need to think about recovery after a run. Running is a high impact sport. You're on your feet for the whole time. Your joints and muscles take a lot of impact, and it's also a cardiovascular sport where you're moving, your blood's moving all over your body. So you're not, it's not like golf or some of those sports where you're a little bit more sedentary. It's a high impact, high cardio sport. So there's 3 big things that we need to talk about for post-run recovery. We need to talk about hydration, we need to talk about fueling, and we need to talk about muscle stimulus, muscle activation. All right, so first we're going to go into hydration. So like it or not, you sweat when you run. And so when you sweat, you get dehydrated, and your body needs to consume more water in order to make up for the lost water that we lose during our run. So what does that mean? It means that after a run, we need to drink some water. And so one of the tips that I have for making it a little bit easier to drink water, because not everybody likes to drink water when they're done with their run, is use a water bottle, bring a water bottle anywhere with you, and 2, have a flavored electrolyte mix that you can use in order to make it, 1, taste better, and then 2, the electrolytes also help you absorb the water a little bit more, so it helps you with that thirst. All right, so the electrolytes that I like to use are by a company called Never Second. They do stuff specifically for endurance athletes, but Gatorade also works. I recommend having a 32-ounce water bottle, one of the big water bottles, and filling it up with water, putting in some electrolyte mix, and drinking that within an hour of your run, periodically, but within an hour of your run. After you finish that 32-ounce bottle of water, you're going to then refill that bottle of water, and over the next 2 to 3 hours, drink another full bottle of 32-ounce water. Okay, and so what that does is it allows you to make sure that you are staying hydrated directly after your run, and that you keep that hydration up throughout the day or night whenever you decide to run. The second thing we want to talk about is fueling. After your run, within a 30-minute window, we need to have something to eat. If you don't have something to eat, it can lead to your body not replenishing enough. It can lead to muscle fatigue because you haven't, your muscles don't have the nutrients in order to, get revamped, to build back again stronger. And so in the long term, it can really be detrimental to our training. So within the first 30 minutes, we need to eat something. And, if it's a meal, awesome, that's perfect. A full meal after a run is great. If it's a snack, that's fine. It just can't be nothing. You have to eat something. And so, it really can be anything you want. Just you want to make sure that you have at least some protein to rebuild some muscle, to get some muscle development, to stimulate some muscle development, and you want to have some carbs to refuel, because you do burn a lot of carbs when you're running. And so, like I said, in the long term, fueling is really important, and you're probably going to be insecure about it, but you need to eat following the runs. And then the third thing I have for you is that we want to do some muscle activation. And so what that means, that can be a lot different for a lot of people, right? We don't want to go just sit after our runs, right? Say you run in the morning and you work in an office. You might not have time to do like a post-run, to do a post-run, routine, like some body weight exercises. If you have a little bit more time, I recommend doing like some push-ups, some pull-ups. I'll get into a full routine for that for you, later in the series. You can also stretch, roll out. Stretching and rolling out allows you to, keep actively moving those muscles. We're not building up the strength like we are with the body weight exercises and the general strength. And then if you don't have any time, if you sit at a desk all day like I do, you want to get up at least once every 15 to 20 minutes and walk around. Stand up at your desk. All of those can help keep blood flowing, because that's really what we want to do. We want to keep the blood flowing after our workout, so that the hydration and the fueling that we just did post-workout will get to our muscles and allow us to feel better, not only later in the day, but tomorrow on the next run and going forward in the process. So those are my 3 big takeaways for what you should do after a run. You want to hydrate, you want to fuel, and you want to keep those muscles activated. I'll hit all of those for their own video later in this series, but I just wanted to cover them for you guys on a baseline level, for the real beginners out there. So after today's run, make sure you get all that stuff in. I appreciate you guys. If you are in your 20s, 30s, even 40s, and trying to figure out how to get into running, drop a comment. I'll send you guys a training plan, and follow along with this. Free training. I think it's really cool when people want to get into the sport, and that's what this series is about. So I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a great day.